Bones Unfiltered podcast. Bones Unfiltered podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode of the Bones Unfiltered podcast. This is the special needs edition, number 8, I believe. And today, I'm blessed to be to have the wonderful Ariel Hill, who she's got a unique story to tell about the Lee Specialty Clinic. So today is the first episode this week. And then next week, we're also going to have another individual on talking about their experience. I believe they are actually a family member that actually goes to the Lee Specialty Clinic. So the good thing about Miss Ariel here is she actually did clinical hours there, and we're going to get into that. And she's going to kind of give us a little bit of insight on what the Lee Specialty Clinic actually does. Because as you all know, was quite unaware of this clinic until just a few days ago. So, but before we get in with Miss Ariel and get her started and start grilling her about this awesome organization that really needs our help, I do want to quickly add to the stage this. This is the town hall rally flyer that is for the upcoming current meeting that's going to be held at the Annex building in our capital in Frankfort, Kentucky on July 17th at 1 p.m. Now, I unfortunately won't be able to attend that. I had prior engagements already set. However, for those of you all that are going to go out and protest on this, people are going to go out to have their voices heard about various things. Now, at this specific town hall, I don't know if they're going to get into the Michelle P. waiver. I don't know if they're going to get into Medicaid cuts. I don't even know for sure if they're going to mention the Lee Specialty Clinic. However, I'm sure it's probably going to come up. So without that being said, without further ado, I'd love to welcome Miss Ariel Hill to the stage. Ariel, welcome today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being on the show. And like I say, everybody, this is going to be a great show because this really is a very important organization that needs our help. And this young lady right here actually got to witness it. So Ariel, but as we kind of get into getting you to the Lee Specialty Clinic, let's kind of fall back a little bit and let's kind of talk about how you got into what prompted you and what brought you into obviously she's got some scrubs on here, ladies and gentlemen. So she decided to become a nurse. So what prompted you to do that, Ariel? And when did that start?
Well, my nursing journey started. I got my certified nursing assistant certification when I was 19. Yeah, 19. So that's what started the whole thing. And that 36 now. So I guess we can do the math there. A long time ago. But what prompted me to become a nurse? I originally wanted to teach history in high school, and I don't really know what happened. I just one day decided that I wanted to do more and be able to give back to the world a little bit. And when I just sat down and thought about it and talked to my mom about it, I decided I could do that by being a nurse.
Excellent. Now, where did you go to school to become a nurse? Because I believe you're from Campbellsburg, Kentucky, correct?
Yeah.
And, okay.
I started with becoming a licensed practical nurse, and I did that through an accelerated program at JCTC. And then I started to get my registered nurse through Midway College, but my mom passed away in the middle of that. And
I'm sorry.
At that point, I just figured it was time to move back home. So I finished that degree through Galen there in Louisville.
Oh, okay. Galen. And they've got quite the reputation too. So
yes.
Now, once you became a nurse, then now where exactly did you start your career in your nursing aspects? Was it at a hospital? Was it a nursing facility? Where did you start?
I started in the very beginning at a long-term care facility in Oldham County, the Richwood Nursing Home. I don't know if they're still called that now or not, but and then I worked at quite a few different long-term care facilities as an LPN until I got my RN. Once I did that, I started out at Baptist in LaGrange.
Oh, nice. Now, how'd you like working out there?
At Baptist.
Mhm.
Oh, I loved it. It was a good place to start. I think I was there 5.5 years, and then I transferred to the East Point Outpatient Surgical Center that's also owned by Baptist.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the one out off of Old Henry, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
Old
that's the
Henry
one.
and over by the off the Gene.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a nice facility out there too. So
It's
now, what did you
super
do when you went out there? Because a lot of things they do out there is, to my knowledge, is like surgical stuff.
Oh yeah. I was a packing nurse, so I would recover all the surgery patients.
Oh, nice. That's wonderful.
And they do a lot of pain management out there too. Really, they have a great pain management team of doctors out there.
Oh, I didn't know they did pain management out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Huh.
that was probably one of my more favorite experiences out there, just because it was just so interesting seeing all the different injections they do and different procedures.
Oh, nice. Now, did they do like welcome, Miss Judy? Did they do the like spinal what do they call that? Where they go in and they for people with back injuries, where they go in and inject the spine and do the spinal ablations and stuff like that.
Yes.
Did they do that there?
Yeah, they did. They do lots of epidurals with steroid or without. They do the ablations, and they do it on all levels. You know, your cervical and your lumbar and your thoracic spine. Very, very interesting.
That is cool. Now, did you, when you were doing your nursing, you obviously had to do some clinical hours in pediatrics. How did you cope with that?
I enjoyed it. I actually wanted for a long time to be a labor and delivery nurse, so I really enjoyed. I enjoyed peds. I loved labor and delivery, and then I loved psych. But my pediatric rotation, all of them, they were actually, there wasn't anything remarkable about it to kind of scare me away from peds. I think we did one rotation in NICU, and you saw some stuff in there that was sad, but nothing to scare me away. Yeah, I loved working with kids.
Did you really? Well, that's interesting, and that's good. That's very good. Now you let's see, was it you and I talking to where you oh man, I'm having a brain fart now. What we were talking, because we would mention something that you had done with regards to your nursing, and I'm gonna have to circle back to it because now I just drew a blank. But anyway, well, besides that, obviously you eventually wanted to kind of get into pursuing your career to the higher level, which is nurse practitioner. And it's to my understanding, you've already done all the class. You're kind of ready to do all the final skill outs and just kind of put the cherry on top of the ice cream and finish it off. Well, when are you projected to be done with that, or do you know?
I don't know. You have to apply to take your boards. So I applied 2 weeks ago, and I'm waiting to hear back from that credentialing center they have to email you back and give you permission to test. So I've heard from other classmates that they've waited 5 to 6 weeks. 4 to 5 was the shortest amount of time. So I'm on the countdown now.
Nice. Now, do you have ideas what you want to do once you become a nurse practitioner? Are you going to change things up, or are you going to stay where you're at?
Well, I have already I precepted. I shadowed at a place down in DuPont called Hagen Healthcare and Psychiatry, and I did two rounds with them. And the psychiatrist there has actually hired me contingent upon me passing my boards. So once I pass boards, fingers crossed, I get to start with him. We're hoping August 17th.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hell, that's perfect.
Yeah, I love it there.
Now, let me ask you, what's going on in this photo here? Was this taken back during the whole like COVID time, or what was going on with this
Oh yeah, that
contraption here?
that was a COVID photo. If they had COVID, we had to put those on. And I cannot remember what those things are called now for the life of me. But oh my gosh, it's you when you took them off, it felt like you were coming out of a spa treatment. Not a pleasant one either because the humidity.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and just getting them on and tightening, that was a whole thing. But yeah,
Well, I hadn't seen this version. I've seen the other
really?
ones that can encapsulate, and they've got the tube that kind of goes down to like a little
Yeah.
a pouch that went on your hip. Now, did you
Yep.
have that pouch? Was it just on your more on your backside where we can't see it in the photo, or
We did have
was
it
or is that
with
what this was
these.
all about?
That's what this was all about. We did have those pouches when it all began, but then this kind of took over. I wish I could remember what those things were called, but don't quote me. I think they ran kind of like on negative air pressure or whatever, where you were just breathing in your own air because you can't see it, but that contraption around my face, that shield has this plastic part that would go right around here, and you wanted to make sure everything was nice and tightly sealed so you weren't breathing in that air. Oh,
Right. What a pain in the
Yeah.
what.
oh yeah, they were. Oh gosh. We did
Now-
like them. Lots of us comically would laugh because we liked those better than the mask that we had to wear because at least you could see our faces. We said.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that is true. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is very true. At least you can see what somebody looks like.
Exactly.
Now, when obviously you ended up doing clinical hours at the Lee Specialty Clinic. Now, you did mention that your school actually kind of turned you on to the Lee Specialty Clinic. What do you mean by that? Like, how did they kind of know, or what did they have that was kind of in cahoots with the Lee Specialty Clinic?
Well, when you do your graduate program and then you get ready for clinicals, you're
Mhm.
technically supposed to find your own preceptors, a nurse practitioner or psychiatrist that you shadow. And
Right.
for that particular term, I was out of time and out of luck, and I hadn't found anyone. So NKU, Northern Kentucky University, has this agreement kind of thing that if you can't find your own, they'll find one for you. Now, you might have to drive a little ways, but they'll find one for you. And they found the Lee Clinic, and that was the first I'd ever heard of it. So, and they apparently use Lee Clinic quite often. I know that I precepted with Jennifer Gordon, a nurse practitioner there, and she had multiple Northern Kentucky University students.
No doubt. Now, how long did it take you? It took you a little while to drive. What did it take you? About almost an hour?
Almost an hour. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a pretty good haul back and forth. And you had to do that, what, 5 days a week?
No, you had to have 125 hours there. So there were some weeks that I did 4 days. Most weeks I did 3 days there.
Yeah. So that's a lot of driving.
It was a lot.
Now,
of
when
driving.
they had you out, what exactly did they have you do on your clinical rounds while you were there each day?
Well, I didn't technically do much. Mostly what I did was observe and do interviews with patients, but it was difficult given the population. So many are nonverbal, so it was kind of difficult to have a really good interview. What you would imagine that you need to be a nurse practitioner, but I got to be in the room with patients when Jennifer would do check on them to see if they need med refills or medication adjustments, or if they'd had something happen behavioral wise, so she could talk to them and their families and figure out if they needed something new or needed a different kind of adjustment. And then Jennifer and I would talk after each appointment was over, and she would discuss, like her decision making and her rationale behind it, stuff like that. But I did that, I got to see their dental department. I got to see some of their therapy sessions, like with OT, PT.
And I heard their dental thing's really good, which,
Oh,
you
it
know,
is.
my son's he's not with them yet. But obviously, who knows, in the future, that could be something that could happen. And of course, we're going through a dental deal right now with him where I was a state retiree when I retired from EMS. So I got a pension. Well, with him being handicapped, he's able to stay on my stuff. Well, eventually he became a Medicare recipient, and then of course Medicaid. And so it got to the point where it was like, we don't need all these extra insurance. It was more of a headache than it was anything, because everybody
Right.
wanted to pass the buck. It's like, well, no, I'm not paying for that. Send it to them. And then you send it to them, and they're like, well, I will pay that up, but only if they pay this. And it was just, sometimes you can have too many irons in that fire, and it can make things kind of a headache. Um, but with him, like currently, he didn't need health care anymore, but he needed dental. Well, of course, at his work, it didn't. That was not on the same time with the open enrollment. So we're in limbo kind of with him on what to do. And when they said that they deal with that, along with to my understanding, the Lee Clinic does other things too. Like they pretty much coincide with a lot of these individual patients, specialty caregivers, whether it be, I guess, surgeons, like you just mentioned, dentistry, all that stuff. It's like a one-stop shop where they kind of help control and run everything for that individual. And
Absolutely.
and I think that's what's so incredibly important about the Lee Specialty Clinic. And here's just this is what they look like when they were down there protesting. This was their yellow shirt. And apparently it was a sea of yellow, to my understanding, when they were down there. It was one of the largest turnouts I've heard that they may have had down at the Capitol. That they had like 4 different rooms that
They had
were
the first, the
completely
main
full.
room, yeah, and 4 overflow rooms. When I got there with a current student who's with NKU, they only had 2 overflow rooms. And it started, I think, at 1. We got there at 12:40. By 12:56, there were 4 overflow rooms. We were just shocked. It was insane.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
Yes.
And here was the original flyer. Now, obviously, this one's outdated. This is I'm assuming this is probably what you're referring to when you went on June 24th. If you went to, unless they've had multiple ones. But obviously, you can see it's a medical oversight advisory board meeting at that Capitol. And obviously, it was a big deal because, they're wanting to slash Medicaid benefits. And Michelle P. waiver, to my understanding, is also something that's being threatened currently. And then, of course, just the livelihood and the existence of this actual organization is on the chopping block, which is, scary because a lot of our adults, in my opinion, and I don't know, you saw it because with the Lee Specialty Clinic, it's to my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ariel, they definitely specified more with the adult handicap versus the children, which I thought was extraordinarily awesome because I think the adults, obviously anybody who's handicapped eventually is going to become a handicapped adult. I mean, it's just the circle of life. We all get at age, but I think a lot of times that's what the problem is the people that get swept under the rug or lost are the ones that are elder and they're handicapped. And the reason they get lost is because, maybe a lot of their family are starting to pass away, or maybe they just don't have anybody. Maybe the Lee Specialty Clinic is really the only salvation that those individuals may have. So for them to want to cut a program that vital, you're taken away from somebody who can't take care of themselves, and potentially taking everything that's important to them away. And I just think that, in today's society, I think that our government can do a better job on cutting the mustard out of things that is not as important, but messing with Medicaid, messing with the handicap, these different programs I just don't think is the way. What was your favorite thing that you saw that they did out there on the regular at the Lee Clinic that you thoroughly enjoyed being a part of?
I don't know if it's really a thing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They had crisis meetings for patients that would be in crisis, and it was kind of like their last stop before something, serious were to happen to, when other facilities might not want to have them as a patient anymore because of behaviors and stuff like that.
Right.
And I sat in on 2 or 3 of those intervention meetings, and they were spectacular. The whole team was there: therapy, dental, medical, psych, everyone. And each of them got an opportunity to talk to the crisis patient. But just seeing all those departments in one, communicating with each other and the patient and whoever was representing the patient at the time, how sincerely they cared about that patient, any patient. But, in that setting, it was just amazing, because I've been in the hospital for interdisciplinary team meetings, and, I'm not trying to say anything mean. It's obvious that they cared, but it was a different level of care. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like these
Yeah,
people,
I can see that. It's kind of like your hospice nurses. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do that job, because that job is certainly not going to be for everyone. Hence why I asked you about the pediatric things too. Is same deal. I mean, pediatrics. Some people they gravitate to it. They love it, and then other people could give 2 shits less if they had to deal with that. They just would prefer not to.
right?
So, like in my career, one time I got lucky enough to deliver a baby, and I don't ever want to do it again. Never.
See, I would love to do that.
Yeah. Never, ever, ever want to do that again. So I got that t-shirt, I got it put up, but I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Don't need to go down that road again. But that's just me. Now, some people would probably be like, dude, I could do this every day.
Yep.
So, and that's the glorious thing about humans, is that we're all so different, but we need everybody to be different, because that's what makes this world go round, and that's what makes everything work. Now, do you happen to know this lady in the picture next to this young man?
Oh, what's her?
You may not, but
she's a nurse practitioner there also, on the medical side.
oh, she was.
Yeah, I cannot remember her name right now. I'll remember it at 2:00 tomorrow morning. But
oh, that's the story of my life too.
yeah, that's how it always goes. She was very, very sweet. I liked her a lot. I wish I could remember her name though. Yeah, one of the nurse practitioners. Dr. Robinson, who does medical, and then this little gal right here was Dr. Robinson had 2 nurse practitioners that worked alongside her, and she was one of them. Not remember her name. But
I'm terrible with names as well. So now faces I'm very good with.
Yes.
Now this young man, I just love. I love the photo too, because he's got his AC/DC hat on, which I'm like, that's the shit. And he's got his little. I love his little tattoo. Is just badass. I'm just like his cool little cat right here. But I just thought it was a great photo, and I wasn't sure if you knew him or not, because obviously you did clinicals. You weren't there forever, so you're not going to know everybody, but here's, just yet another photo of a lot of these ladies that were down there at that protest, that were standing up for the rights of the individuals who can't stand for themselves. And I think it's just absolutely wonderful, the amount of support that these people came out. And like this young lady on the left of the picture here, and the young man here with the headphones, I have another photo of them floating around in here somewhere that I was like, well, I don't know if he's a patient and she was like the mom, or if she's one of the workers, or if they both work there. I don't know, but
if I remember correctly, I believe he is a patient. I know she's his sister, and then the lady in the middle of the photo, I believe is his mom, if I remember correctly. But they are family.
So they
and
are. Yeah.
The mom and sister have some kind of shop in Louisville. I cannot remember what it's called. It's in that Lee Specialty Clinic group on Facebook, though. They
Really?
post a lot of their pictures, and their shop name is who they posted through, like the platform on Facebook that they posted through. And I know they do a lot of work with special needs individuals because of that gentleman in the photo. Yeah, and they spoke. Both mom and sister spoke at that rally, and very, very inspiring. Brought tears to my eyes. They very powerful words were spoken from both those ladies.
No doubt. I bet that was the sight to behold.
Mhm.
Now, I forget exactly where this is, so I should have asked this earlier, but we'll digress. The Lee Specialty Clinic, do you remember the location? Is it in PRP in Louisville, Kentucky? Off Dixie Highway area?
It's off Dixie. It's in Shively.
So it's in Shively.
Mhm.
Okay. Because I cannot believe that I never knew about this place. I can't believe it, especially having a handicapped son. You know, mine's 27 now. So, I mean, it's not like that we're just now getting into this game. And it's like, how the hell did I not know about this awesome clinic? But never heard of it. I actually have some employees that I used to work with. Obviously in the county days, Rick Roller, Amy Roller, they are all nurses that actually work for the Lee Specialty Clinic now. And of course, you know, I doubt I could have them on a show because you know how it is when you work at a business. A lot of times they don't want you. I know when I worked EMS, they didn't want anybody that wasn't brass talking to the media. And I was a sergeant, and they really didn't even want me to do it. Like, they wanted your upper echelon to only be the ones to address the media. And I think a lot of businesses are that way. I guess they're afraid somebody's going to say the wrong thing and do damage versus help. And that's one thing, you know, when I found out from a couple of my individuals, another lady I used to work with too, I don't think she works there, but she definitely goes to support because she had a very bad mishap during the COVID era, and she was comatose for a while, intubated and all that stuff. She got really close to having a very unfavorable ending. And by the grace of God, she turned everything around. She's now expedited off everything. She finally recently had been expedited even off the cannulas where she don't need to wear oxygen anymore. So she's been out there hardcore and heavy. And she's the one that actually reached out to me, Katie O'Reilly, and was like, "Hey, do you know about this Lee Clinic?" And I was like, "Are you going to Frankfurt?" I think is what she asked for when you went. And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I don't know how the hell I missed it, but apparently I live under a pretty good sized rock because I did. But anyhow, I'm just so glad to talk to somebody that actually worked out there for a short time. Even if it was clinical hours, you're still witnessing something really great. Now, was that more of a day program where you saw the same patient, like say Monday through Friday, or was it more of a scheduled thing to where it was like they came in like once a month or once a week or something like that? How did it work with the Lee Clinic out there in that regards?
Typically, about once a month they would come in, unless something more, acute was going on with them, and then she would, want to have them follow up with her in a week, sometimes 2 weeks. So sometimes I saw the same patient. I can think of one patient in particular I saw 4 times. Just in the 7 weeks that I was with her 4 times. But yeah, typically once a month. And Bingham Gardens, which is right next door to them, Lee Clinic they service the Bingham Gardens population as well, and those clients there are required to be seen once a month. So.
Now the Bingham Gardens, I don't think I'm familiar with that either. Now, do you know anything about that? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So what I don't know a whole lot about it, but what I learned when I was shadowing Jennifer is it's I believe it's state owned and operated, and it's basically residential housing for patients that go through that kind of those crisis interventions, and it's wards of the state, people that have intellectual disabilities as well as other mental health uh, disorders, and have been deemed kind of just not safe to live on their own. So the state puts them in this housing area, and Lee handles all of their medical and psych and dental and all that kind of stuff for them.
Oh wow. So Lee literally manages. They
Yeah.
not only do so you heard it right there, folks. They don't just do medical. It's not like they're just doing a treatment or here. I mean, this clinic actually helps people who cannot run their life to where they're safe, where they're protected, where they're good. How could anybody want to cut anything from a program like that? Is just beyond me.
And they're the only one in the state like them. Yeah.
What's up, Scott? Chris, welcome. Miss Wolf's in here. Just to take a quick second to say hi to everybody. Miss Judy was in first. Miss Judy, it's good to see you, honey. Thank you all for tuning in. And this is Miss Ariel for those that are just coming in. Miss Ariel Hill is a registered nurse, fixing to be a nurse practitioner. And she had done some clinical hours at the Lee Specialty Clinic here in Louisville, which is, as if you are a local resident of Louisville or Kentuckiana area, you are quite aware that the Lee Specialty Clinic was on the chopping block due to all these budgetary cuts. Well, thankfully, by the grace of God, they were sanctioned to continue in existence through the next fiscal year, which would be in July of next year. So make no mistake, they won that battle. On the I think it was the 26th of June, 24th of June. They won that battle and got the extension, but we have not won the war. So please, 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 anybody out there listening to this episode, check out the Lee Specialty Clinic. And again, just to show for those who just walked in, boom, there it is, Friday, July 17th, 2026, 1 p.m. at the Frankfort, Kentucky's actual Kentucky State Capitol Annex building is where they're going to have yet another rally in support of Medicaid cuts, Michelle P. waiver cuts, and of course, this Lee Specialty Clinic. We do not want to see them go away. We don't want to see anything even being trimmed off them. They are incredibly important, as you've heard Miss Ariel here speak. They do so much for our adult populace. And again, the adult populace are the ones that, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I would think that cuts coming from people like that would probably happen first because they probably get more benefits if they don't have families and they don't live with people. And so they probably get a lot more. And sadly, those would probably be the ones that would get hit first. And those are the ones that don't need to be hit at all. So we're trying our best to raise awareness, and I've got Miss Ariel Hill here with me today, who has been very sweet to want to come on the show and talk. Super awesome lady, very easy to talk to, and I'm so blessed to have her. So we're going to continue on. We're going to kind of we'll step a little bit away, and we'll come back and forth, obviously, to the Lee Specialty Clinic because that's what's most important out of all this. However, Miss Ariel is she's a pretty amazing woman as well. And the reason I say that is she's a mother of 3 beautiful little kids. I mean, they are just absolutely, and the one on the right there definitely looks like mama. But they are just adorable. But so here she is, a mom raising 3 youngins. She lives on a farm. If you could just hear the goat, I just heard him making noise. But here she put herself through school. She became a nurse, LPN. Then she became a registered nurse. Yeah, I believe you got your BSN.
Yeah, I did.
And then she decided, hey, I want to go and become a nurse practitioner, which in today's society now, nurse practitioners are very, very, very important. And the reason they are is I don't know why this is. Probably my guess is schooling. But apparently from what I've been told, if what I've heard is true, and again, this is just my opinionated statements, do your own research. But apparently it's a lot harder for them to find doctors anymore because there's just not as many people wanting to go through all that to become a doctor. So nurse practitioners have really exploded because they've been very much needed. So even myself, my when my primary care doctor retired, I have a nurse practitioner now, and I love her. She's awesome. So I don't have any problems, and I don't feel like I get any lesser care than what I would get from a doctor using a nurse practitioner, because we've got some pretty talented nurse practitioners in our state. I can at least speak for. So, but she is raising youngins and then going to school and trying to do all that on her own. So I definitely tip my hat to you. And I say they live out on a farm because they do. And as you can tell here, obviously this was at a fair. They were standing probably in front of the tobacco stand there.
Yep, at the state fair.
Now, was that the Kentucky State Fair or was that a different one?
Kentucky State Fair. Yep.
That was the Kentucky. Yep.
We go every year.
Well, and you used to be in it, did you not, years ago? Because if I'm not mistaken, you were also a member of the 4-H club, correct?
No, my kids have joined 4-H. I learned about 4-H when I was too old really to get into it, because I took a stint and went to a private school for a few years, and they don't have 4-H at that school. So when I came back to Henry County, I was a junior, and I did FFA, Future Farmers of America.
That's what FFA.
Yeah.
That was the emblem I think I saw on one of your shirts.
Oh, yep, you probably did. I was actually the secretary for the FFA when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
So that's probably what you probably saw that.
Yeah, that's probably what I saw, and I thought I had a picture of you with that shirt with the cow, but I guess I don't. I thought that was at the fair. Now these must be yours, I'm assuming.
They were. That was a few years ago, and both of those boys have new owners now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So do you all board horses as well? Is that what your dad does?
No, my dad does income taxes.
Oh, your dad's the one that does the income taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. So he just does kind of a little farming stuff, stuff in regards to like taking care of horses, or she's got a goat, which I'm going to show him here in a minute, because apparently he headbutts everything.
Yeah,
and he looks like he would.
We were having a disagreement while we were talking.
So now how much property do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
We have 20 acres.
20. No, that's right. 20.
Yeah.
I knew you had told me, but I was trying to remember off the top of my head. Now, this is a great photo. And I couldn't remember if this was the same horse. No, was that this? That wasn't the same horse that was on the left of the last picture, was it?
No, that was a different horse. He was a Morgan horse, and very, very fun horse. But as I started to get older and the kids, might be interested in riding, mommy hopes so. He was fun, but he was the kind of horse that he had a very fast walk, and he didn't really like walking. He liked to trot. So he really liked, we call them hot when they're like that, hot horses, because they don't want to slow down. So I decided to sell him and look for something, more just slower, in case my kids want to start learning how to ride.
No, I feel you. I love his little diamond shape on the tip of his nose. I thought that was so cool. It's like a diamond inside of another diamond. It looks like white in the center. It's just almost grayish. Yeah. I was like, wow, what a good looking horse.
He was a fun time.
Now, how many horses do you all have currently?
We have 2.
So you have 2. Now, what was the most that you've ever had at one time?
Oh gosh. I would say, I think it was 6. I think we had 6 at one time. That was quite a number of years ago. My mom had texted me. I was out on a date or fishing or something with a former boyfriend, And like I said, this was forever ago. And she texted me something like, well, your dad came home with 4 baby horses.
Holy.
Like, what? So yeah, we had 7 at one time, because my horse at the time had broken out of our fence and spent one night away with a stallion next door, and she got pregnant, so she had a baby, and then he brought home 4 babies.
That wasn't her, was
No.
it?
No,
Okay.
that wasn't her. No,
'Cause this one has this very mischievous look on her face, like she would have been, she'd have been in some stuff. But I love her face.
She was very much. She did not like dogs. So, and we have dogs. So we had to. I found her a new home too. We've had some bad luck with some horses, but yeah, she was very sweet, great with kids. Did not like dogs at all, to the point where she was dangerous with dogs.
No doubt. So she'd put it to him if she could get to him.
She would. Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm.
That is it's so funny, especially when she's been around, because you all got dogs. Now this horse here is beautiful too.
Oh,
Very beautiful. Just, I love that light color. It's just so pretty.
She was. We ended up. She was a very good little trail horse. Anyone could ride her. So we know some people that have. I think it's called the Jesse James Stables down there in Cave City. Let's see. They made a trade on her for a horse that I have right now. His name's Kermit. I've had him for about 3 years now, and he's what the kids need. He's perfect for kids. He was a kid trail horse for the longest time.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Now my uncle, he used to board horses. He had one that her name was Sugar. She was a little bit bigger than a pony, but she was definitely kind of a runt, I would say. She wasn't an actual pony, so she was just a little bit bigger than them. So I would imagine she was pretty runty, but she was really, really good with children. Like, she was so gentle, it was unreal. Whereas some of the other ones that I would ride occasionally, where there was one, it was kind of more like what you described. He didn't really have a slow gear, and I was like, dude, I need slow, man. Ain't no horseback rider. But he didn't want to go slow. He wanted to book. And I tell you what, for those of you all that don't, like, she knows, because she rides all the time, but for somebody like me that didn't ride all the time, I tell you what, it's very interesting when you're on a horse, because when they walk and when they trot and then when they take flat off, take off, run, it's almost like you're on a rocking chair when they run, because it feels like you're just like, it's so smooth, but they're so quick. It's like, oh my God, man. Really cool. Now, did you do any equestrian stuff where you actually did like show horses and you dressed up in the little outfit and you rode like, prim and proper and did the little jumps and all that good stuff? Did you do that?
I wanted to. That's how I started learning. I started learning to ride on Morgan horses, and the people that taught me did and still do a lot of horse shows. But at the time, I forget why I didn't do it. I can't remember. I think I was just really busy with high school, because I was also one of those kids that was very focused on making sure I took all the honors classes and all the AP courses. So I was extremely busy, a little nerdy. But I did.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, my dad and I did take a couple of our horses to a couple of local horse shows that the little county fairs throw here and there. And did like halter class and a couple of Western rides with them, and they got a couple of ribbons from that.
No, that's cool. Now, did you ever do any kind of barrel racing or anything like that?
No, I wanted to, but I'll be honest, I started riding when I was 16. I was born with a love of horses, but I never got to start learning how to ride until I was about 16 years old. So kind of came in.
No doubt. Yeah, that's a lot later than I thought. I figured you would have started, way sooner than that. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, my mom was a single mom until she remarried to my stepdad. So She was kind of like me, you do what you do for your kids, and she took a lot of sacrifices to do the best she could with me. So yeah, no, horseback riding lessons. I don't even know what they cost now, but back then, I just know they were expensive, and she was more artistic, so it was piano lessons.
Oh, the
But my
hell, there ain't
dad
nothing
was a
wrong with
horse
that
guy.
either.
Yeah, my stepdad's a horse guy, so luckily, we both kind of strong armed her into the horse world.
Now, the one cool thing about Miss Ariel here too, which some of you all may not know what this is, and I'm fortunate enough that we got the ability to understand what this was and to experience it with Brandon many moons ago. This was back when he was, I don't even know how old he would have been. I guess he'd have probably been 5 or 6 or something, I guess. But anyhow, Miss Ariel here was a part of a company that actually did hippotherapy. And for those of you all that don't know what that is therapy for handicapped individuals or for anybody that's just being rehabbed, but it's rehabbing on a horse. So with our son Brandon, they actually would put him on the horse. Of course, he had to wear a protective helmet in case he were to fall off. And of course, you had guides on. You had a guide leading the rein. Then you had the, I guess you would say it was the individual that was the side workers. So all right. So
Yeah.
sidewalkers. Well, the sidewalkers are there to make sure that like in this situation, Brandon stayed on the horse, and it's not like they were moving fast. I mean, they were walking at a snail's pace, but that apparently it was really good for him with his disability because it helped to build core strength. I guess the movement of the horse caused, with your body, it caused him to have to engage that core to really maintain good posture on this horse. So it was a really fun and really interesting to watch. Now, kind of walk us through that. Like, how did you find that to do that? Was that part of clinical hours? How long did you do it? And what was your role when you did it?
Well, when I did it, sometimes I was the sidewalker, and other times I would be the leader. Just depended on the owner and who she wanted where. And but it was a place called the Lucy Center. It's no longer open, but it was located in Shelby County, Kentucky. And I started that when I was 13. My mom knew that I loved horses so much, and she found this place, and mainly she found it thinking, okay, this would be a great start for her to get to know how much work it's going to be to have a horse, because I clean stalls. I would go around and fill up all the large water troughs, and they had an assortment of animals too: goats, llamas, alpacas, you name it. But
oh, really?
So I started there doing that, and then we found out that she also did those hippotherapy lessons for children and adults with a handicap. So I got started helping out with that. If I recall correctly, there was a camp. She had a little horse camp, and then it just grew from there for me. I told her how interested I was in staying on and helping after that 2-week camp was over. So I volunteered out there for, I think, 2 or 3 summers doing the hippotherapy. I loved it.
Just want to take a quick second to say hi to Miss Val for joining in. And Miss Val says that to tell you hi and that she loves your name.
Oh, thank you.
So Miss Val is another one that, like everybody in here, I've got a certain eclectic group of individuals, both men and women, that are incredibly supportive of me. And I can't say enough about all of the individuals that are currently in this room. And I know you may not be able to see the comments because I didn't really tell you how to bring it up. And you may not be messing with it to figure it out, but you can see it. Wolf said, she said hi. Scott Braley's in here. He's a guy that does a lot of music production now. Used to be band management, but now he does productions. Chris Wells, he's a guy from Echo TV. So if you don't know what that is, he works for Echo TV, which is a religious-based television programming that puts out different kinds of movies and stuff. I guess it's kind of like well, I don't want to say Turning Point USA, but Turning Point USA is obviously it's they have a certain guideline. Now, I'm not saying that's what they do, because it's not, but it's religious based. So they do movies, they do TV series, stuff like that, but it's all religious based. And it's all, I'm assuming, I don't know where Echo TV actually distributes to everything at, to be honest with you. I'll have to dive into that. But anyway, Chris is in here, and of course Miss Judy, she's always very pivotal with watching everything. So so I'm very blessed to have certain individuals, and there's a lot that tune in after the fact. So we're very lucky with that. But let's get back. We can kind of get back to some more photos. But I just wanted to welcome everybody. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that, brother. And he said to tell you hi, Miss Ariel.
Oh, hi. I tried to comment, but I have to join through YouTube, and I'm not very tech savvy to a degree, so I don't want to do that on the off chance that it kicks me off of here.
Well, you're in good company, because I'm not very tech savvy. You should have saw the shit show yesterday. And apparently, I can't say the word. Starts with an R, and I'm old, so it's an inappropriate word apparently, but it starts with an R. And I said that word on TikTok, and then somebody come in the room and they're like, blah, blah, what's up? And I was like, oh, I said the R word. And yeah, apparently I got banned for three days.
Oh, God.
I can't do laughs. They said I'm hate speech. I was like, hate speech? I was talking about myself. I was like, I ain't hating on nobody. But apparently, apparently you can say the F word and you can say all sorts of derogatory crap, but you can't say that word no more, even though that word back when I was a kid was actually a diagnosis. But
no, I got banned on Facebook once for telling an aunt that she posted a picture of some cute dog or something at the Humane Society, and I said, don't worry, we can hire someone to kidnap my dad so he doesn't get mad about it later. And Facebook banned me. I got Facebook jail for I think it was a week, honestly, because I was talking about kidnapping someone. I thought, oh my gosh, that was totally a joke. No.
Now every now and again you'll hear a noise on Ariel's end, and that's probably this guy right here.
Yeah,
apparently this guy.
She's bad.
She apparently likes to headbutt a lot of shit, and apparently she gets into a lot. Very mischievous. Now, what's her name?
Her name is Daphne.
Daphne? That's a great name. I love that name.
Yeah. She's finally going to sleep in front of me. I think the heat's gotten to her. She's done being bad.
For now, for this 5 minutes?
For this 5 minutes, yeah.
You definitely got a lot going on at your house, I have to say, because she's also got, it looks to me like, and now I don't know if you still got this little guy here.
Oh yeah, no, she's going to be 13 in September. Yep.
Oh, I've got an old one. He's 13 now. He'll be 14. Now obviously she's got husky in her.
Husky blue heeler.
And blue. I was going to say, and it looks like blue heeler with the top part of the face.
Oh yeah.
So I had a blue heeler back in the day, but man, she's so beautiful. What a pretty dog.
The energy on that, but the fur, oh gosh.
Oh my God. You mop up a dog every day.
I brushed out a whole litter of puppies from her last night. I guarantee it.
I guarantee. I guarantee you did.
Oh yeah.
I know. I definitely know that feeling, because my dogs. I got a German Shepherd. The mom was German, full-blooded German Shepherd. The dad was full-blooded cattle dog. So she looks like a puppy German Shepherd, but she's really not. She's She's full grown. She's just cattle dog size. But here's another shot of the pup when she was little. Her eyes, and just the design on her face is just so cool. And of course, the perky ears that stand up like radar dishes. I mean, you gotta love it. But she almost blends in with the snow and the leaves.
She does, doesn't she? Yeah.
I mean, she's almost camoed up. Very, very pretty dog, though. Very, very pretty.
She's a good girl.
and getting up there in the age, which
Oh yeah,
that sucks. Nobody wants to see that, but and then just to brag on her little ones. Now she's got one child that that has really bad ADHD. What do you mind saying which one, or do you not want to? If you don't want to, don't do it. But
oh no, it's my son Aiden. He has ADHD, and it's finally pretty well under control now. But it took a couple of years of a lot of medication adjustments. We've had to struggle with the schools a little bit and getting them to be patient and allow him, to be able to stand at his desk sometimes and, kind of rock back and forth a little bit. Just, and I mean, even neurotypical people, kids can't sit still for very long. So I mean, I have ADHD and I find myself moving around in my seat and tapping my foot. So to be a kid and have to sit for 8 hours at a desk constantly, it's just
no, that ain't gonna happen.
That's too much.
Well, and I'm like you. I don't sit still. I can't even. I have to move when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yep.
I'll sit there and it's almost like I'm rocking myself. I'm like, Jiminy, I'm such a weirdo. It's like, God dang, man, unbelievable. So I probably got it too, but just back when I was a kid, they didn't give a shit.
No,
they didn't care if you had that or not. Here's another shot of the kiddos. I thought this was a really cute photo because with their little bows and their hair and stuff and matching outfits.
Yeah, that was back in March.
Well, you got a good looking family, that's for sure.
Thank you. There goes that.
Oh, there he is. That sounds like my neighbor's behind me. I'm like, oh yeah.
That Richard, his name is Redford.
Redford,
named after the Robert Redford. Yep.
And he'll cock-a-doodle do all damn day, won't he?
Yes, he will. Yes. He's very
neat. I found I did find a really cool. I found a cool photo of that you had, and obviously it is cool. I mean, without a doubt. When I bring this up, you're going to know. You had quite a few of these, so obviously you're quite passionate. I just thought this was a killer photo.
Oh, yeah.
That turned out. And you had, not only did she have this one, she had, I don't even know how many were on there when I was stalking your site. You had so many. And this is called, what is this called again? It's called the
Aurora Borealis.
Yes. Thank you. I could not remember to save my life. Such a cool photo. Now, how did you take that? Like, what did you take it with?
Oh, that was my phone. And it took a long time to figure. You had to. There's a button that you push to. Maybe it's the RAW. There's like is it RAW, RAW button on? I have an iPhone. And then you had to there's a contrast thing, exposure. It was an exposure type of button. And you're not really editing it, but it's allowing that camera because it's dark outside to capture as much of the original color of those lights as it can.
I guess it's like time lapse. Did it take a while to do it?
Yes, thank you. See,
so time lapse.
Not tech savvy at all here.
Well, see, two minds. We're able to figure that out. See, two minds are better than one, so that's good.
It was time lapse. So yeah,
I can't believe you did that with your phone though. Like that turned out and all of them turned out really good. Like I was like, damn, I don't even know which one I like better. Like I was looking at it and I was just like, that is just so damn cool. It
was gorgeous.
And like a lot of people think, like our sun, they're like, if you ask people what color's our sun, they're gonna be like yellow or orange, and it's like, no, it's white. And they're like, what? And it's like, yeah, the sun it's not yellow, it's not orange, it's white. But the color you see in the sky is just due to all of the atmospheric stuff, like dust, pollutants, and all that different stuff. And I'm sure that, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that maybe plays a little bit of a role with the way this is. But what you captured there was just absolutely amazing. I just thought that was so damn cool.
In Alaska, I mean, if you can see it like that here, wow. My dad got to see them in Iceland once, and
I bet that was awesome.
the tour he went on, it was of course at night, and they told people if you want to try and capture it, you want to take a video for sure. And it was the breathtaking. He said the video was breathtaking to someone like me. He said, but to just see it in person, he said the video just didn't do it justice. And the video was
I could only fathom.
beautiful.
Yeah,
it was spectacular.
well, that turned out what you did. When I saw those, I was like, I know it really doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but I got to talk about this because it was just so damn cool. But but where you live at, you're out on 20 acres. You're out far enough to where when it gets dark, it's dark. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the city, when it gets dark, you walk outside and you're like, with all the damn lights everywhere, it really never feels dark. And you really don't ever really get to appreciate, in my opinion, the stars, because you cannot see them near like what you can at your house. Because you just don't have all that city background lighting to just wash everything out, But yeah, that I just had to bring that up. I saw that. I was like, man, that is so cool. And just to throw a now this picture was just comical. So I figured there was probably a pretty good story behind that. Where were you and what was going on in this prehistoric egg?
That egg. Have you heard of Dino or Jurassic Quest? That's what it's called.
No, I haven't heard it. Where's that? Is that thing that's out near like Cave? What is it? Cave City?
Oh, no. Is that Dino World?
Maybe that's Dino. I've never even been there either.
Jurassic Quest. It's like a traveling kind of show. I guess you could call it a show, but it's going on right now. I think in Lexington or Cincinnati, but we caught this in Louisville, and they have, I forget how many, at least 50 life-size dinosaurs on display that you can see, and then they have robotic ones too. That a lady will come around carrying this baby T-Rex, and its neck moves and stuff, and you can pet it and kind of feel what their skin would have felt like. And then they have ride-on ones that are just hilarious. Different levels, and you could have a T-Rex, you could have like a brontosaurus, and they move around, and it's kind of like a theme park ride, really. But that's the neatest thing. And then they have another area. It's the same exhibit with a Jurassic type of fish, sea creatures, and they had a megalodon. It was really cool. Oh,
no doubt.
Yeah. It was a neat thing to go see. Yeah.
Now that's
a bunch of bouncy houses too, which not my favorite thing. Takes forever to get those kids out of those things, but
oh my gosh, yeah, I can only fathom.
Sure.
Yeah, luckily mine never. I don't know if we ever even did a bouncy house, but now mine are old enough to drink, so I don't have to worry about it. Now if we're in a bouncy house, we're in for different reasons.
Yep, it's so true.
But yeah, that's I just had to show some of them photos, and then again, just a few more photos for people since we were talking about the Lee Clinic earlier. I mean, here's just another collage of different pictures that people had posted, and you could see it's kind of hard to tell, obviously, in this photo, but you can see that there was several different rooms. There's a lot of yellow shirts, and apparently that didn't even do it justice. With the amount of people that actually turned out for that. So I think it's wonderful that we have that many people that want to kind of help our special needs community out.
If I recall correctly, I think it was a patient's mom and dad that had all of those yellow shirts made. I forget how many shirts that I knew the number that day, but they had them made. And they gave them away because I wanted one. So I asked her. I didn't have any cash though because I didn't think they'd be doing stuff like that. I said, "Do you have Venmo?" And she said, "Oh, we're giving these away for free."
Oh wow!
So they had all those shirts made, and it was in like the hundreds. It must have been several hundred shirts, and giving them away for free just so
Wow,
they could
that's
help get the
cool.
word out. Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome.
Now, this is what the outside of the building looks like for those of you all that are in the Shively area that are looking for the Lee Specialty Clinic.
Yeah.
There's the outside of the building. And again, Miss
Nice in
Ariel
there.
said it's in Shively. I don't know exactly where without looking it up because again, I'm learning about the Lee Specialty Clinic too. I can't believe that I knew nothing about this place, especially doing all the stuff that I've done for so long with EMS too. It's I don't know how long it's been there. Do you know? Do you happen to know how long they've been established?
2014 was when they were established.
2014. And it's to my understanding that they actually originated, or at least a group of people that originated that set up the Lee Specialty Clinic were actually at the oh crap. What was the it was the psych place out in Anchorage.
Oh, is that
I'm drawing a
Central
blank.
State?
Central State. Thank you. I was going to say I've been there a bazillion times, not as a patient, probably should have been, but not
I think
as a
quite a few there
patient.
was.
But so you did go there. I used to go in there a lot, but I rode Middletown, so a lot of times if Anchorage wasn't in quarters, we'd have to go,
Okay.
over to Central State and get patients and whatnot. But apparently, if that's true, that's where it kind of got its spark, and then they moved out. I guess they moved out wherever they could to get a good place to be in. Looks like they've got a nice facility. So,
Oh, it's gorgeous inside.
is it really?
It is. It's phenomenal. You go straight through those doors, and you have this huge waiting room area with a large reception desk, and I mean it's very eclectic. They have nice. It's not like going to your local doctor's office and sitting in those chairs with those hard plastic armrests or anything. Like it's couches put along the walls, and they have pictures of patients and different things hanging on the walls, professionally done. It's beautiful in there. And you have to go through locked doors to get to where the offices and other rooms are. And back there too, I mean, everything's so clean. And it's just it's not sterile looking. It's very warm and welcoming. The building itself it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's awesome. That's
a
really
lot of
cool.
care was put into building that building, in my opinion, at least.
Right. Now, roughly, how many people you may not know the exact number. I'm sure you don't, but roughly, how many patients do you think the Lee Specialty Clinic actually sees, like say in a given year? How many clients they have that come out to them? It sounds to me like maybe once a month. What do you think they have out there?
Now,
I know that's a hard question.
That is a hard question. I don't honestly know, or I don't think I could guess, but I know when they were shutting it down, I think I had read multiple times over, they served 1,500 clients.
Wow, that's a lot. And apparently there's a waiting list. Like you just can't go and get on. Like it's kind of like the Michelle P waiver. You gotta bide your time. And for those of you all like my son, I don't know how long we had to wait to get him on the Michelle P waiver. It took a long time, but of course he's been on it now for years now. But there's people, to my understanding, that have waited, like in excess of like say 4 to 8 years and still have not got their number called to where they can get on this Michelle P waiver. And that's a very nice program as well. It's very beneficial, but it's one of those programs that you just can't get in. It takes time. Same with kind of like what you're talking about with the it sounded to me like that place that's near the Lee Clinic that I forget what you called it, but it turned out it was more like a living, like condos for special needs or apartments.
And 24-hour staff too.
And 24-hour staff. So it kind of sounds to me like, kind of like that, like it's, they just it's just a one-stop shop. Now, what's the thing that they focus or maybe that they do the most? Yeah, like, is it more psych? Is it more behavioral in regards to outbursts? Is it more um, your doctor's like nurse practitioner, like your what do they call that? Your primary care kind of thing. How would you classify the Lee Clinic in that regards?
I would say, now, I don't know if this is accurate, but if I had to take a guess from what I was there witnessing,
Hmm.
I'd say it's a really probably even balance between psych slash behavioral and then, your physical, occupational, and speech therapy.
Oh,
And then
got you.
the medical just kind of comes with it, like getting your labs done and stuff like that. That's, if you need labs for certain meds you're on, or they're not feeling well, and then they get them in. But I saw a lot of psych behavioral stuff, and then a lot of their therapy all day, every day, pretty much.
Nice,
Mhm.
excellent. Well, that's. I'll tell you, it's definitely learned more about this place. I'm so interested. It's just so cool. I just can't believe that I didn't know anything about it.
I know.
I'm
I
still
was
blown away. How could something that awesome be right under your
exist.
nose
Yeah,
and you not even see it?
I was flabbergasted when I looked it up. I thought, oh my god, because I told you I worked for Cedar Lake Lodge there for a while, and I think when I worked for them, though, Lee wasn't open yet, but and I'm still, affiliated with people that work with Cedar Lake. So just for me to not have even heard of Lee Clinic, I was shocked.
Now, once you become a nurse practitioner, do you think you want to do more of the behavioral aspects or the psychological aspects of the patient's care, or do you want to focus on primary care? What's your end goal with once you do finish your nurse practitioner? What you're knocking on the door, all you got to do is skill out. What do you think you want to specialize with that?
Well, I specialized in psych, so
So you did.
psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And what's awesome is, like she said before, she's already got a job offer pending that she just passes her final boards, which she's already made it this far, graduated. That's just one more hurdle she's got to jump through. So, and I wish you the very best when it comes to that.
Oh, thank you. I'm ready to get that done.
Now here was another photo. This is just a photo of you just all dolled up.
Oh yeah, a long time ago, I think.
I love your hair in that though. Looks
Oh,
good.
thank you. Yeah, I miss it being long. I had to get a lot of it cut off. Here's the goat again. Apparently, I had some pool damage from it in my hair last year. So the lady I go to, she cut. Well, it was down to here, I think. So she cut a lot off, and it was actually up to here when she cut it in August. So it's grown. I like my hair long. I don't like it short.
Yeah. So the chlorine damaged your hair that bad, eh?
That's what she said, but I'm questioning that because we've had a pool for a long time, and I've never had chlorine damage like that in my hair. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know chlorine is hard on shit. That's for sure.
Oh, sorry. The goat is back to being.
I was going to say
goat.
I can hear the goat is
She's scratching her rear end on the chair I'm sitting on.
Oh,
I won't pay her any attention.
Now here's the people that I knew from the clinic.
Yes.
I don't know if you recognize any of them. Now the two on the right, obviously the real the shorty, Amy. Shorty there, she and then the guy, the Chris Crinkle, aka ZZ Top looking guy back there in the back. He was actually my first. Once I was kind of being precepted when I started EMS many moons ago, and once I got cut loose, and you were precepted in a 3-man unit, then you got cut loose, but you still were with a preceptor to kind of making sure, like, you were far enough along where you could do your own shit, but you
Yeah.
still kind of had to have watchful eyes on you to make sure that you were, you didn't have any issues. Well, that's what Rick did. So I rode with him on nights, and he just made sure that I didn't do dumb stuff and was still staying the course. And then, of course, Amy is his wife, and she used to work at county as well. So did the young lady there, Katie. She's the one that actually introduced me to the Lee Clinic. So she was like, "You don't know about it?" I'm like, "No," but she worked for county as well. So all three of those were county brats, like I was back in the day before merger. And then merger happened, and that's why Rick's white, is because merger happened. See all that white beard and hair. It's he's only like 26 years old, but no, just kidding. But still, that's probably why he turned white. He got into management, and then of course merger was just a headache for everybody. But I love all three of these peeps. They're good, really good people. And
yeah, I met Rick and Amy when I was there, and they were both very, very sweet people. Well, everyone that I met there was amazing and kind. But yeah, definitely can't forget those two because they always have those big smiles on their faces.
Oh, heck yeah. And they're very passionate and about the program as well. So once I found out they were even there, because hell, I haven't seen them since, well, I'd say I've been retired now. I want to say it's almost 9 years.
Oh.
9 years in August, maybe. So I've been retired 8 or 9 years. It's a lot. So it's been a long time. So I don't see as many people as I used to. Oh, I hear ducks now.
Oh yeah, the duck population is descending upon me.
You're like the queen bee. They're all coming like, why is she on the porch? Why is she talking into this computer?
I had one in my shower for the past week, and I finally put her back. She was trying to hatch an egg, and then it didn't work out, and she and I were both over it. So she finally went back outside 2 days ago. She's probably over here checking on me, thinking, is she going to kidnap me again?
I tell you what, ducks are incredibly intelligent too, because when I rode EMS, now you may know, even though you're not from around here, so you may not, but you've been in Louisville enough, you probably know where Baptist Hospital is.
Oh yeah.
But the Baptist Hospital off Kresge in Louisville. Well, I used to go there. Obviously, that was one of the hospitals I frequented the most because I rode Middletown. So that was one that was always that suburban hospital, or now it's Norton's Women and Children's, but in Jewish East, those were all hospitals that were all in a cluster right there in the East End. So those were the ones that were the closest to us. So we went there the most. Well, at Baptist, they had like the ambulances parked out here. Then the building kind of goes back a little bit, and it kind of L's over, and you had the ER entrance back here. Well, right to the right of the ER door, they had it was a landscape thing in the sidewalk that was for a tree. So it wasn't super big, but it had a bush underneath the tree, and it had the tree. And anyway, a mama duck she laid her eggs there. Well, sadly, we would see this duck. She would lay all the time. They would stay there and have their babies there in that same spot. And it got to the point where people would leave out saucers of water or like put out little bits of food and stuff for them too. Because I mean, this went on forever. Well, finally one year, the mallard, I don't know if he got hit by a car. I don't know what happened to him, but he apparently obviously died.
Oh.
Well, mama had the eggs, and the other mallards were coming in wanting to obviously eliminate those eggs so they could, hook up with her instead. And of course, she's trying her best to defend the nest. Well, she was smart enough to where when these other mallards would come in, and one would almost try to draw her off the nest, she'd come off to fight with him, and then the other one would try to go in and get the eggs, and then she would turn around. Well, you could tell this poor mama was getting exhausted. So she finally was smart, and when they would show up, she would waddle her ass and wait till the electric door opened up, and she would go in the ER and go up to the security station, just squawking, just quack, 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 quack. And then they would get up and they would come outside with her, and they would run the mallards off. So she would get a little bit of a break, and then
I
she'd
love
go and
that.
sit back and rest on her nest. And then once they came back again, then she would go back in. And it was so comical to be standing there at triage talking to a nurse, and all of a sudden you're hearing, it's like, did the Aflac duck just walk in this bitch? Because she would come in just
I love that.
raising Cain, man. But that was her way of saying, hey, I need help. And security
Security.
got up and helped her. It was so awesome. It was so hilarious. It was
That's
it was
adorable.
it was one of the coolest things to ever witness.
I
But
bet. Yeah, that's comical. That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
but what's bad is after those eggs hatched, I never saw Mama again. So I guess
Maybe
after
she thought
that
this is not the best place to lay these eggs.
yeah, maybe so. Either that or she finally, hooked up with somebody else and they picked a different spot, I guess.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really neat.
Yeah,
How she would go in there, because it's just interesting how animals like that can actually communicate with you. Like they can figure shit out. And for her to
absolutely.
know, if I go in there squawking, these guys are going to come walking out with me, and then they'll run them off. I mean, it's like she didn't have to speak English, but she got the job done. So I just thought it was so neat. So sorry for that story. I just had to tell it because I heard that when I heard that duck squawking, I was just like, oh, that brings back memories. Makes me think of that.
That's adorable. Gosh.
Oh yeah, it was so stinking cute. That's for
my
sure.
dad that story. I love that.
And it went on, like I say, for years, and then that's why I knew something was bad. Once I saw her trying to defend the nest, I said, "Daddy must have died." And I don't know how, and it's sad because I don't even know if ducks, if their mate dies, will they eventually? Because I know they stay mates for life, but if one passes, do they move on or do they not? I don't know.
I don't know. I know. Right now, I know I have one female and two males that we lost our other three duck hens, and then I did hatch in our incubator this spring. I hatched 3 little duck eggs. So I think from what I can hear their noises so far, I think I've got 2 females and a male in there. So I don't know. I'll have to look that up. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And that's and now do your ducks is your pond close to the house?
It's not super far away, but it's not super close. So when I first started with the chickens a couple of years ago, I got some ducklings, raised them up, and my husband took them out to the pond when they got old enough because he thought they would enjoy it. Well, 2 nights later, out of 4, only 2 were left. So something had gotten them. So we took those remaining 2 to our Amish friends because he wanted some ducks for his barn. I have one Amish friend. He's very, very funny. Got the driest sense of humor, and he loves animals. And I know that sounds funny because everyone knows they have a lot of animals, but this guy, like, he's got a bunch of miniature horses that he breeds. And my dad one day said, "Well, what do you do with them? Why minis?" He said, "I just think they're cute, and the kids love to ride them." It's just so he's funny, but he wanted some ducks, so I gave him those 2 ducks, and then I waited a while before starting over with ducks. And they free range all day long, and they've got to know it's there, but they don't go down to the pond. Now they do give my pool the eye, But,
do they?
Yeah, they've never been in it though. Thank God. Like,
thank God for that. Good.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious, boy, that'd be a mess. Now, do you have
We-
a above ground pool? I'm assuming.
Yeah, we have an above ground pool. We put in a big water trough. My dad dug out an area in their little run and installed a water trough and made it into their own little duck pool for them. So I think that appeases them.
Now, Miss Mary says sometimes she thinks that they do find other mates, and she says sometimes they might not. I guess it just depends. It's probably just like any,
Kind of like people, right?
any other situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes they may say, you know what, that was my guy or that was my gal, and I just don't want to deal with anybody else. So
Yeah.
I'll just finish up life the way that it is, I guess. But that's very interesting. But thanks for chiming in, and welcome, Miss Mary. I appreciate you coming in, honey, as always. And Miss Mary's yet another one that I talk about. That she tries to make everything, and I know people can't make everything. I mean, hell, it's and sitting through an hour and a half show or a 2 hour show it can be hard, but a lot of people, some people really dig podcasts. But I tell you, these peeps that are in here now are just actually they're just outstanding people. So I'm really glad they're in here to hear your story. And again, when we upload this, when it's all said and done, it's going to be on all platforms. So Lee Specialty Clinic, you are going to be disseminated either today or tomorrow, and within 24 to I'd say 48 hours, you should be on all platforms that Buzzsprout puts up. So most, I should say most. I don't want to say all because I don't even know. I'll tell you what, Ariel, some of these damn podcast channels that this is going to be uploaded to, I've never even heard of. It's like there's like 12 that I was like, I've never even heard of these. So you're going to be on a lot of platforms, a whole lot. But Spotify is probably the biggest that people know. That's audio based. YouTube, my YouTube channel is always going to have what you see. So you'll always get to see her as well as hear her on the YouTube channel. A lot of the other ones just go to audio because it's so dang expensive to do both. And I already spend a lot of money to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The middle of the road package is already expensive per year. So, especially when you're not making any money doing it. So it's like, or you're making little bits here or there, like stars or something for Facebook and I don't know, TikTok. Well, apparently I don't know how to be a good boy on TikTok. So apparently I got my pee slapped yesterday for being insensitive. Whatever, but got to be the bad boy every now and again. I think I went through I thought I had a picture. I thought I had some more in here, but I guess I don't. So anyway, I think I've gone through most of the photos on here. But I tell you what, you've got a great looking family. It sounds like you got a pretty definitely a cool life. I mean, living out where you live, you got a lot going on, and you're furthering your education. So you got to tip your hat to you for that, for sure. Now, are you going to be going to the rally on July? What is it? This one again?
It's this Friday,
July 17th.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make that one. My kids are doing a summer camp that's an all-day thing right now, and that will I have to pick them up at 3:30. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make that
one.
Rally,
yeah, and I can't make this one. Now, I'm sure there's going to be many more for all of you all out there. I mean, the Lee, like we were saying in this podcast, for those that are joining late, the Lee Specialty Clinic is definitely one of them that's on the chopping block in the future due to budgetary restraints with the state of Kentucky, and Medicaid and Michelle P. Waiver are on chopping block as well. But we want to raise awareness so much, and that's why Miss Ariel is here, because she's very passionate about the handicapped community. She's a very passionate nurse just in general, and she got the privilege thanks to her school, because she didn't really know where to get all of her clinical hours. They actually hooked her up, and they allowed her to find the Lee Clinic, and she said just what short time she spent doing clinical hours out there, she said she actually loved it, and it was a really, really great program. And that's why when I reached out to them wanting to do a podcast, she was one of the first ones that chimed in and says, hey, I would love to talk to you about it. And I'm so glad that she did, because she's a very good speaker. She's very easy to talk to, and she definitely gave me some knowledge of the Lee Clinic. And we're only going to get more from here, folks, because the next episode we're going to be doing on Tuesday will be a young lady by the name of Sharon, and she's got a autistic daughter who, to my knowledge, if I understood everything correctly, which we're going to make sure, if not, it'll be cleared up on Tuesday, but she's a patient out there, and that Lee Clinic had done wonders for her because she had a lot of very bad, violent outbursts. And I've got pictures that I'll show on that episode that the Sharon had sent me um, that her child destroyed her house. I mean, it looked like they got ransacked. So it just shows that even with people that deal with handicapped individuals, or especially uh, different ones like say autism or whatnot, that sometimes they have outbursts, and they it's not like they're trying to be shitty. That's just what happens, but you got to deal with it. And there's a lot of people out there that couldn't, because it can
Mm.
be a lot, especially when they explode. And sometimes they're very, very friendly. Sometimes they're very cooperative, and then it's like a light switch. All of a sudden, you could ask them to do something, and they ain't having it. So the places like Lee Clinic actually work to instill into these individuals that there is a certain etiquette that needs to be you kind of need to adhere to. And they're not going to learn this without people educating and helping them. So you got people like Miss Ariel, which I guess she's this way. I think I'm mirror image, but Miss
You got
Ariel here, she she's going to be one that is pivotal, and especially what she's doing, because she's going to be a nurse practitioner here very soon. And obviously, as you just heard her say, she is specializing as well with the kind of the behavioral aspects of things, so the psychological side of things. So that's a very interesting topic, and you never know where you may see Miss Ariel in the future. So
I will say one thing about the Lee Clinic that you don't find, among many other things about it, that you won't find anywhere else. The second day that I had clinical there, they had I guess one of the employees smelled gas. So they had to evacuate the building and call in, the fire department to come clear all that up. And one of Jennifer's patients doesn't like to come into the building anyway. So we saw that gentleman in the parking lot in the car. And it wasn't just because of the gas situation. They do this quite frequently. Some individuals, lots of people with mental health disorders don't like change. So change in environment, anything unfamiliar. I mean, I only have ADHD, and I don't like change. So you know how that is. So, but they see them in the parking lot. So I thought that was pretty cool, how they adjust what they do just in order to make sure that those patients are taken care of.
wow, that is cool. So they'll actually say, "Oh, Johnny's having a bad day today and don't want to come in. Okay, well, let's walk out in the parking lot and let's hang out with Johnny."
They do. They hang out. They ask how they're feeling. They go through the whole spiel that they would go through in the office, but they do that in the parking lot just to make sure, because lots of those patients and their family, they drive from hours away. So they've, and they do such a good job of it too, but they just want to make sure that they get the care that they've driven hours and hours to receive, instead of.
Oh, so the Lee Clinic they'll serve people that don't even live in Louisville.
Oh, all over. People would come from, Richmond and Pike County and Bowling Green's not super far, but it's still a drive. They way up in northern Kentucky, because it's the only clinic like it in the whole state. So people.
Oh, I did not know that.
Drive for several hours just to have an appointment for that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't realize that was the only one like that.
Yeah.
And yet, and then here we are. It's hard to believe we're even having a discussion about shutting it down. If it's the only one they got, it's like, and I was talking, not to be overly redundant, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because it's my show and I can do it. And people don't get tired of hearing it, but I'm going to beat this horse. I think that in our society today, I spoke on this on the podcast the other night, and I think you would agree with me. I mean, everybody hates cancer. Cancer sucks. Cancer is the absolute worst, but it is a billion-dollar charitable industry that happens all the time. And to me, it's noble, but if I had the ability to donate millions of dollars for something charity wise, me personally, I wouldn't want to be in the cancer basket with everybody else because it already makes so incredibly much amount of money per year, to my understanding. Now that's just what I've heard and what I've read. Now, granted, you got to do your own research on shit. And again, anything we've said today on this podcast is our opinion on stuff. So we especially me, I don't pretend to be something. I ain't nobody. So I'm trying to learn about this stuff too. But to me, if you're going to donate millions of dollars to a charity, it's like, why do they always want to be on the cancer bandwagon? And maybe it's because it is the worst thing ever to humanity, and it is the worst disease, and they want to have their name attached to that way. If there is a huge breakthrough, I guess it's like, hey, I donated to that. But it's like, to me, I don't understand why people don't want to donate to stuff like Saving the Lee Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why would you not want to donate to that, or donate to the Special Olympics? Like I was saying on a podcast before, the thing that irritates me about the Special Olympics is the fact that the handicapped people, because there's less of them, I guess, and it's more popular, like with sporting events, you've got fall ball and spring ball for kids with no disabilities. But then, like with us, we'll take softball because that's what's currently going on right now. We have softball in August, July. And it's like, so the most vulnerable people we have in our society are the ones that have to go out in the hottest time of the year to participate in sports. And I just think if somebody donated millions of dollars instead of cancer to say, hey, maybe we're going to help start your own, buy this land and put up this great big facility for you all. And that way they can use it, and it's just for them, just for the handicapped. They can run their programs the same as everybody else. That way they're not doing it in the hottest time of the year or the coldest time of the year. They can be in a climate controlled area, or at least minimize the amount of heat exposure or something that our vulnerable community have to face if they want to participate in sports like everybody else. So I don't know. With that rambling, I just think that sometimes money is better well spent. But then I also have read shit, which you don't know how true it is, and not to get political, because I try to stay out of politics and religion, because you can't win with either. But I have seen some weird shit that, if it is true, our government spends money on some pretty asinine shit. And it's like, well, you're threatening to cut something like the Lee Clinic, which is so incredibly valuable. And but you want to spend millions of dollars on some nonsensical crap that it's like, even if you find out what the hypothesis is on this, what does it solve? Nothing. So it's like, why are we spending money on that then? Why don't we spend money on something that does make a huge difference? And you heard it from Miss Ariel here today, folks. The Elite Clinic does a superb job with taking care of people. And apparently it's not just Louisville. They are coming in from all over the state of Kentucky. So I thank you so much, Miss Ariel. Mary said, Miss Ariel, it was nice to meet you.
I know, it was nice to meet you guys too. I can't comment because, like I said, I don't want to get kicked off before prematurely, but it was nice to meet everyone too. You all are so sweet.
Yeah, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this show, because this is really the first big one. I've been mentioning the Lee Clinic, but you're the first one to get this kind of kick started. So I learned a whole lot from you today. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your experience of working out there, because it seems like just an amazing place. And we're going to see what's going to happen. Like I say, I got Miss Sharon up in the future, and apparently there's some other people that want to participate as well. Now, as for staff, I don't know if that's ever going to be a possibility. It probably won't, because I'm sure their upper echelon's going to be like, hey, first of all, we don't know Bones. That's just, it's kind of like the charity stuff. I sponsored a golf scramble for Cozaires for kids with my business. And I told them, I said, hey, I would love to, do the podcast. Well, apparently they must have looked at me. They looked up podcast. Well, when they saw Bones Unfiltered podcast, and I have a music side which is for up and coming musicians. Well, I am not the cleanest mouth. Now, I do pretty good on this because I try to tell myself, don't say the F bomb. Don't, try not to cuss other than stuff that's like shit or damn, whatever. That's regular television. But I've tried not to on this because there may be more sensitive ears or some, that may see this show. And I want to try to be respectful. But I love to cuss. I cuss a lot, especially working EMS all them years. So my music side of things tends to all have explicit content because I let everybody we say whatever the heck we want to say. And if you want to drop an F-bomb, you drop it. But I think they saw that and then they thought, well, that must be what his show's about. And we can't have all that foul language. Well, I wouldn't have done that. But they don't want me to do the podcast, but that's okay. So I'm going to participate in the golf scramble and at least donated stuff. But anyway, this special needs podcast is near and dear because of Brandon, but because of stuff like saving the Lee Clinic and meeting people like her that are in the medical field. She's going to be in our community all the way up through a lot of people's lives. So you never know. You may get her as a doc in the future. She may be one of them that takes care of you. And she's young, so she's going to be doing this for quite a while. She ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So Ariel, I wish you the very, very, very best. I can't wait to hear how everything pans out once you finish your skill outs. And once you start the new job, I hope you enjoy it and love it. And anytime you want to be on the show, I would love to have you back on. You've just been an absolute dream. And thank you so much for letting me stalk your life to kind of get photos and put up to ask questions about. I appreciate you letting me go through your personal page like that and to gather some intel on you. And again, just for you taking time out of your day to try to step up and help with this podcast to try to help and see what we can do for the Lee Clinic, because if we can save them, dang, that's going to be, I would love to say that you and I we're a part of the solution of that at the end. And we helped get them be a part of that solution versus the problem. I hope it works out. I really do. I hope that this doesn't die after one fiscal year of bailout.
Yeah.
I don't see why it should. And I think that the bean counters out there need to start looking at what are we really dropping our money on, and is this really a worthwhile venture versus, well, let's cut this program, which we know is worthwhile because our handicapped people need us, folks. And some of them need us way more than others, and some of them do not have family. Like my son's fortunate enough, he's got a big family unit that rallies around him. But there's some people out there that Lee Clinic may be the only people they have. Don't take that away from them. I mean, they may not know how to survive on their own. And this Lee Clinic, apparently, I mean, you've heard stories from her, and she was just an outsider doing clinical hours. And the stuff she told me was already amazing. I can only imagine if you worked there, what the stories you could have of hope and of everything, So again, Ariel, much love. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Thank you so much for letting me. Yeah, I had a great, great time. I look forward to seeing you in the future. And hell, you never know. It sounds like neither one of us can really make this meeting, but this ain't going to be the last one. So you never know. We may end up down in Frankfurt together sometime. And, if I can learn my gimbal and take that thing, hell, I'll just go live and we'll just do a bullshit thing while we're down there in front of the Capitol. I think that would be fun.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. We're at an hour and 45 minutes. So that's actually pretty dang good. So I'm going to get ready and sign off for now. But again, this is Miss Ariel Hill. Thank her so much for joining into this podcast and sharing her knowledge with us. And I look forward to the next one, which will be on Tuesday with Miss Sharon. I think her last name was Raymond, if memory serves. But Miss Sharon Raymond's going to get on here and tell her story, and we're going to continue to kind of push and talk about the Lee Clinic. So more to come on that. As for Special Olympic wise athletes out there, ladies and gentlemen, there are definitely some I had spoke to at our softball game last night. There are several other of my Special Olympic kids that I want to have on the show to brag about their life achievements. So there's definitely more of them that are in the pipe that are going to be coming down. So for those of you all that are interested in listening to a handicapped person brag about their life achievements and stuff that they've gone through, but also hear about the struggles they've had to deal with, then obviously this podcast is going to end up being for you. So thanks again, Miss Ariel. Best of luck to everything. And everybody out there, be good. This is Bone saying be good or be good at it. And we'll see you on the next episode.
You take care.
Peace. You too, honey.
Bones Unfiltered Podcast.